Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and have we got an interesting video today. So there have been some alleged leaks, but they're text only, which normally I'd be like, fake, except that we've had accurate text-based leaks before, and some of them were like, basically like card design notes from before they even really started playtesting. And I think like one of them didn't make it through playtesting, and one of them was like the tiniest little bit different, which indicates that it was probably a text-based document sent to high-level judges that kind of test out the cards and help write the rules for Wizards of the Coast. That's my theory. Well, here we go again. We have an interestingly timed one from some random person on MTG Salvation. If you're not familiar with that forum, it's like if all the different Magic subreddits got together and then stood right outside Chernobyl when it went off. It is the most toxic, radioactive shithole in the Magic community, and I cannot stand that place. The worst members of the community imaginable reside there. So with that in mind, that was the source for these. I would literally trust it more if it came from a Magic meme subreddit. So anyway, it is my official stance that these are clever, well-made fakes. But then again, we've seen stuff like this. So I mean, if I say absolutely fake and then they're real, I look like an idiot. And if I say absolutely real, look at this, oh my gosh, and then they're fake, then haha, you fell for it. And if I'm a fence sitter who says, oh, I could see both sides of it, I don't know, we'll find out, then, well, that's just boring and everybody calls you out for that too. So, I don't know, my official stance on whether these are real or not is that MTG Salvation can go f itself. But Des, that doesn't express if they're real or not. Exactly. So first up with these alleged leaks, we've got Egg Observer. It's a 1+ blue creature human wizard. And remember, this alleged leak came out, I do believe, a day after, like the same day as the first details about Strixhaven, where we found out that the houses were started by Elder Dragons who are still around. So I would call every single one of these absolutely 100% real unless they got caught during playtesting and changed or deleted. If there was a card called Egg Observer that came out before we knew that dragons started the Strixhaven colleges. So it's clever, I'll give them that. So allegedly it's a 1+ blue, so 2-cost creature, human wizard, and it has level up. Why would an Egg Observer have level up? Unless it's not a person observing the eggs, as in studying them and taking care of them. In fact, that would be Egg Caretaker. If it's literally a dragon egg that's like observing someone else or like learning or something. I don't know, like a Togepi or something. It could be something unrelated and I'm just not thinking of it. I have no idea. I mean, there are like owl people in this set. Anyway, it'll be level up 2. So you put a level up counter on it. Level up only as a sorcery. And level 1, flying 2/3. Oh, it's a vanilla 2/2 otherwise. Level 2, flying whenever it attacks, create a 2/2 blue drake creature token with flying. And it's a 3/4, and then level 3, it's flying, you tap it and create a 2/2 blue drake creature token with flying, and it's a 4/4. That doesn't really make sense why it would go from 2 to 3, and that's not how level up works. Although, I think they did it 2 different ways, so I might be not 100% correct on that. I could check, but I'm not going to. So, okay, so that is what it is. Next up, we've got a Flynn, School Excavationist? I don't think that's a word. So, legendary creature human wizard. Well, they did match proper noun name disclosed with legendary, so pat them on the back, they're so smart. I'm going to find a hard reason that these aren't true. So, whenever Aflin or another non-token wizard enters battlefield under your control, create a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. I think they confirmed something about golems too in the set already. I don't remember. So, okay, clever. Then golem creatures you control have flying as long as a wizard you control has flying. And then, of course, the same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. So they've done something like that before, but usually it's in the graveyard. So, you know, okay, whatever. Wizards and golems, cool. That's probably what one of the houses does. Makes sense. And Excavationist, it would be the first one, the red-white one. I could see it. They mostly do stuff with spirits, though, I thought. So, yeah. Next up, Casmina, Honorable Prefect. She's 3+2 blue for 5 total, legendary planeswalker Casmina. Whenever a wizard enters battlefield under your control, draw a card, then discard a card and put a loyalty counter on Casmina. That effect is almost always you may draw a card. Just saying, not absolute proof, just saying. Then 0 created 2/2 blue wizard creature token. Okay, that feeding itself for 0, I'd say that's excessive, but look at what they've printed recently. And by recently, I mean, remember Agent of Treachery before rotation? It's been a bit of a history here. Remember Steel Leaf Champion? Anyway, -3, return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. Okay, typical blue ability. And then 4 starting loyalty. Okay. And then, is this supposed to indicate it's the DFC? And on the other side, it's a sorcery called Casmina Summons? Okay. Either that or that's... Oh, no, I can't say one of the Planeswalker decks. They don't exist. Okay. So, yeah, sorcery costs 4. Okay. Create a 2/2 blue wizard creature token. Then draw a card for each wizard you control. So, I don't get it. Is that like... Is it a 2-part spell? I don't get what's going on here. Then they tried to explain it on the bottom. They put Casmina makes tokens and has cheap removal as her loyalty abilities, which is nice, and her backside is free gas for wizards decks. Oh, so it's a DFC. So spell on one side, a planeswalker on the other. But it's like 4 versus 5 mana. That, I don't know about that. I don't know, I mean, pretty easy to guess that there would be wizard tribal. This seems like something they would print, but it all does. I'm not buying it yet. Next up, it says we're getting a new Praetor in Strixhaven, Gin-Gitaxias. Get this! Allegedly, it's Gin-Gitaxias, Sly Instigator, a 5+ double blue, so 7 cost, legendary creature Phyrexian Praetor. He has flash, he can't be countered, and you may cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn without paying its mana cost. Which is ridiculous, but we're getting close to Omniscience, so it's not that ridiculous, for 7. And then whenever an opponent casts their first instant or sorcery spell each turn, counter that spell. And then it's 5/7. Yeah, that sounds like something they would do. That sounds like something they would make. So you gotta burn a spell first in order to target this. We've had cards that are really similar to this, except usually it's just when you target that one creature with an ability or spell, the first one gets countered, like I'd say by rule, but just by ability gets countered, and then you have to hit it again. Like if you really want to get rid of it. Those cards have been notoriously annoying. I wish I could remember the example of what I'm thinking of. Cue 50,000 people putting in the comment section. That's why I always hate saying stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, this seems like the most overpowered control enabling bullshit that Wizards would put in, so this one's believable. Plus, I still haven't covered, I really gotta do this tomorrow, the 5th and final chapter of the Keldheim thing to see. I had heard that basically Vorinclex dies, that Kaya succeeds in her mission and kills him, but I'm like way more into what's going on with the demon invasion from Sturmheim or Innistromheim, or is it Inner Sturm? Demonville. That seems like a more pressing thing than her getting paid, which I believe they paid in advance. But the one thing I do want to know is, one, what state is Keldheim left in? Did they just be like, oh, wow, war started and then bye, but I haven't read any of the side stories either. But do they find out why Vorinclex was there? And my guess is no, they're going to leave it hanging and then Praetors are going to start showing up in the next couple sets. Which would be really cool. I mean, they usually have these story, arcs and interesting things that can span I guess typically 3 to 6 years, I would say. I mean, some 15 years if you think about it, but the whole what's going on with the Phyrexians thing has been kind of hinted at quite a bit ever since I'm on Cat. So I wouldn't be that surprised to see another Phyrexian Praetor here causing problems, because otherwise it's mostly new characters. Nobody cares about those twins from Wham. How are you going to make an interesting story? Mix it up with a Phyrexian Praetor creeping around. Makes sense. Anytime a villain or a big scary bad guy or somebody that you thought wasn't a problem anymore suddenly does become a problem, you get people way into the story, and I have not seen people get into the lore like they did since Shadows over Innistrad rolled around, and there was the puzzle, and people were solving the token text puzzle thing, and the clue puzzle, and then the mutations showing up at the art, and people that's kind of weird, and the couple of hints at Emrakul. Oh, that was some cool shit. I got way into it. That and just a mystery, who the hell is the Wanderer? People like mysteries, people like creepy villains being in places they shouldn't be. So if you want to attract somebody's attention, that's the easy way to do it. So overall, because this is the biggest one I want to spend the most time on it, do I think this one's potentially real? I mean, they're either all real or they're all not. I mean, somebody wouldn't necessarily like leak 2 cards and then add 3 of their own unless that's the point and they think that's funny. I just find that the least likely. If it's all or nothing, honestly, I feel throw them all out. They're all kind of reasonable. Although there is one more, by the way, I should say. But the idea of another Praetor being there, I'm going to say yeah. And would it be Gin-Gitaxias? Sure, I don't know that much about them, but it seems fitting that he would be in a wizard school causing trouble with magic and stuff. So the final one, allegedly, is Pour Over the Scrolls, which I could have sworn was already a card. It's an instant, it costs 5, it's blue, draw 2 cards, then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of cards in your hand without paying its mana cost. Yay, more free casting, at least it's limited this time. So, once again, for 5 mana, could I see them doing this? Absolutely. In fact, this wouldn't even be a very good card. Limited to the number of cards in your hand when you only fed it by 2 on a turn where you would have 5 mana available. Good luck getting anything to go off. So, I don't know, these all seem reasonable. There's some issues with a couple of them, the way they're written and that kind of stuff. Could have just been shorthand, could have, not been the final text because this looks like testing stuff, but just want to share this with you. I mean, what's your opinion? Do you think they're real? Do you think they're not? I can see people being on either side. I'm kind of on both. I'd lean very slightly towards they're fake, mostly because of the source and because of the tiny little issues with them. But we'll see. I mean, almost every other leak like this has been confirmed. I just wish these would have come out a day before we knew anything about Strixhaven, because then they'd be a lot more believable. So, yeah, in all likelihood, I've just wasted my time covering some bullshit a troll wrote, but, whatever. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.